Hello and welcome to another screencast edition of Autodesk Maya. Today we'll be going into more detailed focus into rigging the hands. As I stated previously on the last screencast that when we're rigging the hands, it's going to require a lot of skeleton joints for this because not only you have metacarpals, but you have knuckles and joints and so on and so forth for each digit on your hand. So as you notice in the top view, you can't really see your arm. It's already set up that way. Usually, especially depending on the model that you have. Usually, the hands are set up in a 45-degree angle. Some of them right here on a 90-degree right angle. But since you can't really see this, we'll have to make do on what we have here. So we're going to end up using our front and our perspective side to help us guide through in making the hand joints. So right here, we're going to start off again with our wrist. So as you see, our L wrist is there. And when we're making our hand, we have to take consideration of many things. You have to make a metacarpal here. It's the tiny little things, bones in your this part of your hand that helps function and flex each digit on your hand to move and flex and curl. So again, go to skeleton, create joints, reactivate the L wrist joint, then pretty much click outward here, press enter to deactivate. What I'm doing is making metacarpals, and I'm going to start it off by making the middle finger metacarpal. That's the first one that you work on and adjust. So there we have it right here. And then what I'm going to do, go back to my front view, select my icon right here, 2, press enter, repeat the same process, 3, 4, make sure you reactivate your wrist every time, then press enter to deactivate it. Then one last time, for 5. So I'm going to exit out of my front orthogonal view and utilize my perspective view to help me out. So I'm going to use this right here, joint 2, joint 3, joint 4, joint 5. So make sure you align them just enough where it meets and aligns to the knuckles for each finger. There we go. And spread them out just evenly like that. Now, the next step, what I'm going to do is relabel them. So what I'm going to do is call this L pointer metacarpal. So that's spelled. So again, L pointer metacarpal. It is a mouthful, but I'd rather you write down the technicality so you won't have to worry about trying to find it. Again, I'm going to stress this again. Label your joints. So L ring. Here we go. Make sure you keep these in order as much as you can. so you won't get them jumbled up too much. There you go. L middle metacarpal. L ring metacarpal. L pinky metacarpal. And definitely L thumb metacarpal. There you go. And that's just barely the beginning. You're going to add more subhierarchies for each and every metacarpal that you have. So, onward back to the settings that we have here. So, let's see. For the thumb, make sure it's adjusted nicely here. Pointer here, metacarpal, and pinky. You could look, oops. You could look through your model to see if it's in place and adjusted and aligned to the hand. There we go. So we're going to go back to our side view and we shall begin. So we're going to start with our pointer right here. Then go to skeleton, create joints. This time around, we're going to reactivate, we are going to reactivate our pointer metacarpal. Then once we have that, you're going to try to guesstimate through all these extrusions here to find which one is the pointer finger. And press enter. So you're going to have the knuckles, joint 1, joint 2, then the tip. So what you're going to do, we're going to go back here to our perspective. Again, we're going to be constantly going back and forth between perspectives in our orthogonal view. Again, this is a good time to sort of figure out and sort of align everything with your model here. So more or less, it should look like that. And voila. Now you have this. Now, again, label your joints, each and every one of them, even though it gets very tiring. So L pointer knuckle. L pointer joint 1. L pointer. Instead of calling joint 2, I'm going to call this end. And I'll call this L pointer tip. There you go. So this is how it should be labeled. Now we're going to go back and forth again to the side view. This time around, we're going to try to activate, let's see, the middle metacarpal. Then, as you see, I selected my outliner. That's a good second best way, an efficient way to create another one. So press enter, deactivate, go back right here, go back to this model, double check to see if everything is aligned. I just might have to adjust this here and there. Everything looks pretty good. Click on the drop down parts of the subhierarchy. L middle knuckle, L middle joint, L middle joint 2, L middle tip. There we go. And revert back to the next one. Do the same thing. Click on this icon to create a joint. Select ring metacarpal. And you're going to try to find the best guesstimation to create. Your finger. So within best guesstimation, I was able to pull it off with ease. There you go. There we go. Back and forth. Alrighty. So now that we have that, I'm going to repeat the same process. Wash, rinse, repeat. Like I said, this gets mundane. So select the pinky. You try to find the best guesstimation to each and every part. So I'm going to go back to here. Readjust this. There we go. Ta-da. Looks pretty good. Now go back to the side view. And one last time for the thumb to reactivate that. Select this, that, this. Press enter to deactivate it. Use the perspective mode to help guide you. Through the wireframe. And there you have it. So now we have this, and we are going to start relabeling them. Unlike the thumb, unlike the other fingers, the thumb only has one joint, not two joints like the others. And we're going to begin again relabeling them. So L, ring, knuckle, pinky, knuckle, pinky, tip. Last but not least, L, thumb, knuckle, L, thumb, joint, thumb, tip. So make sure you sort of spread out your outliner to make sure you have enough spacing. So let's see. We have pointer, everything's labeled here. Middle finger, everything's labeled there. Ring finger, everything's labeled here. Pinky here, thumb here. Now that you already have that, you have finally completed your arm and hand rig. Now the next step is to repeat the same process of mirroring the joints. So in order to do this, make sure you select your left clavicle. If you have done that, then the next step is you select skeleton and click in the box to mirror joints. There will be a little pop-up box right here. Make sure your settings for mirror across is on the YZ axis. Once you have that, go down here to replacement names for duplicate joints. Put in L for search for, then in replace with, put in R. So you're going to change left to right. So once you have that, press mirror. And ta-da! In an instant, you just made yourself your rig. As I notice, you may have to adjust it a little bit because there are, it looks like, depending on your model, also do be careful to actually make, um, yeah, definitely be careful and actually make your model proportional. If it's not, then you're going to have a lot of issues uh, with working with the rig. So now we're pretty much complete. So that really pretty much concludes on today's screencast edition of Autodesk Maya. Thank you very much.